Alastair Campbell just had a major meltdown on national television while debating Alex Phillips over Brexit. Let's get into it and watch the clips.
Happened since Brexit, and people have fallen out of love with politics. They actually don't feel like they can trust their politicians to deliver. It's been 7 years since that vote, and we're finding that, in total, actually, about 260,000 EU laws are in UK statute, and they'd found 4,000 down the back of the sofa they wanted to do something about.
Yeah, but they're laws that were passed by UK Parliament.
Well, they were, but they weren't able to be properly scrutinised. No amendments were able to be. No amendments were able to be made. Those laws were not made by the British people for the British people. Ad hoc. So if you would let me talk, perhaps you might agree with.
Well, let her finish, and then I will come back to you.
Because I don't think you're, particularly being a good contributor right now, because you're just being essentially rude.
Make the point.
Now, what I think a lot of people, when they voted for Brexit, wanted was essentially this country to take its future in its own hands and to make decisions that would benefit our industries, that would make decisions that benefit our communities, that would actually lift the wages of those who are the lowest paid, to actually secure our borders, which is something else that's not been done, to actually enable our fishermen to have a self-sustaining industry and actually make a profit from it. None of these things have actually been delivered. None of these things have been delivered because, frankly, we've got a government that treats Brexit like a gimmick and doesn't have any courage or conviction to see it through.
Didn't do anything about it underlines that the sovereignty lay here. So all your lies about taking back control, more money for the NHS, sovereignty, immigration, the list of it, you've failed on every
I knew you
thing.
were going to come up with, the money for the NHS. Nothing to do with me, not my campaign. And it's very rich, a man who essentially was part of telling lies to invade a country, to accuse me of dishonesty.
I think you might have lost the argument there, my dear. If I may patronise you even more. Honestly.
No, that's it now.
Yes, I will.
No, that's
sorry.
it. No, that's it.
No,
that's
sorry.
It.
You bring these people on, you never challenge them. You let them talk utter rubbish about Brexit. And it's happened on the BBC for year after year after year.
OK. I am not going to take that from you. With respect, Mr. Campbell. Thank you.
You don't have to.
Thank you very much for being on the programme.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on the programme.
First things first, it's never a good look to lose your temper with any woman. I don't care whether she's the late Queen, the Prime Minister, or your mum. Losing your temper with a woman, it's just never good optics. And as the Director of Communications for Tony Blair, you would have thought he would have known better. Also, you would have thought that a grown man with children knows how to properly carry himself in a debate. But Alex Phillips is completely right. Brexit was done and the people wanted Brexit so they could lower numbers on immigration and control borders, so that they could have control over fishing waters and just have complete sovereignty over the UK, not being presided over by some bourgeois politicians in Brussels. It doesn't matter whether the EU laws are enacted by Parliament or straight from Brussels themselves. What matters is that the laws that the UK is regulated by are not consented over by the British people. And that is why Brexit was done. One thing that I found so funny in this video is that you had Alastair Campbell complaining the BBC is biased yet again. He was like, every week, I've seen you do it. You bring these Brexiteers on here and you never question them. You just let them get away with everything and spouting nonsense. Because this is what lefties do. Even the ones that don't look as woke, they just victimize themselves. You've got a grown man playing the victim on air because to lefties, the BBC is some right-wing media outlet. That's how much of a delusion lefties live in. The BBC that would never ever post about grooming gangs. The BBC that never ever even has right-wing people on. Just look at how they've covered Turning Point UK and the protests against Drag Queen Story Hour. They never ever let right-wing people come onto BBC News, and even if they do, they're always being shown in an extremely negative light. Just look at the interview of Elon Musk the other day. Watch that and then try and tell me that the BBC is impartial or that it's right-wing. It's clearly a centre-left media outlet that pretends to be impartial. And I'm not going to lie, the BBC does as good a job as possible, but facts are facts. But seriously, this is a terrible look for Alastair Campbell, and he needs to get his act together a bit and compose himself. This is Reason, and I'm Liam. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more.